Let's say you're eyeing retirement, it's coming, or you're in your 20s, 30s, or 40s thinking, one day I would like to retire, but how do I invest when that time comes? I'm gonna show you right now. So if you're in your 20s, 30s, or 40s and you think this video doesn't apply to me, I promise you it does. Just save this video and come back and watch it later so you can learn and know what to do when it happens. Remember, the goal about being retired is not necessarily to build more money and more wealth. It's to preserve the wealth that you've built over a lifetime of investing. So your mindset has to shift. Got it. Still kind of early. I still need to keep drinking my coffee. Now, there's a saying on Wall Street that is invest your age in bonds. I think that's a little extreme. I get people who write me who are like, I'm 20, I'm 30, I'm 40. Should I have 40% bonds in my portfolio? I can't give you financial advice. I can just tell you what I do. I have 0 bonds. I'm 40. I have no plan on buying bonds until I'm in my late 60s, early 70s. Just not for me. Everyone's different though. So instead of doing the invest your age in bonds thing, I just tweaked it a little bit for me. But you're you. So if you don't like it, remember, you're watching me. I'm not watching you. So I'm going to focus on ETFs, or the ETF part of your portfolio, because frankly, once you start adding individual stocks, it's a conversation just nobody has time for, and I'm definitely going to need more coffee. With the ETF portion of your portfolio, think about yours now as someone who's in their 20s or 30s or even 40s. It's probably very technology heavy. You probably have a technology ETF that makes up 60% of your portfolio, and then S&P, and then maybe a dividend fund. These numbers are going to kind of switch a little bit. So by the time you're nearing retirement, you're going to be about 30% S&P 500. I just have SPYM here. This was formerly SPLG. They just changed their name. Nothing else changed. 20% a dividend ETF. I have SCHD here. There are many others. And then 10% in a technology fund. I picked FTech. You can check my ETF playlist. I cover lots of other options here. These are just a couple of examples. But that makes up about 60% of your portfolio. So where does the other 40% go? Well, once you're retired, it could go in a variety of what people might consider safer investments that don't necessarily grow or have a lot of risk, pay very small yields. Remember, the goal is to preserve your money, not necessarily grow it. So there are a couple of different ways for you to invest in bonds. One is to go to treasurydirect.gov. Another is to just get bond ETFs. So we're going to do a little mix in this video. The first one is BND. It is a total bond ETF, and it pays around 3.7%. The next one is TLT. It is a 20-year treasury. It pays 4.27. The next one is SGov, 0 to 3 month. It pays around the same, 4.27. And then we get into some other options here for you, including stuff like CDs. There's one currently from Marcus by Goldman Sachs that is a 14-month CD that pays 4.10%. And then finally, there are I bonds. These are inflation adjusted, so you get a flat rate and then a second rate that adjusts every 6 months or so. Most of these are a lockup of a year. You can get them back with penalties, but the idea is to hold them for 1 year. You usually would get them from treasurydirect.gov, but in making this video, I learned that BlackRock actually has some I bond ETFs that have different maturity dates. Here are just a few of them on the screen right now. But you can see here that one of them, IBTG, that is a 2026 I bond, has a yield of 4.05%. Last up is cash. You could either get a money market fund. These are going to be specific to your brokerage. So I use Charles Schwab. So I would look at something like SWVXX. That is their money market fund. If you have Fidelity or a different brokerage, you would just look for their money market funds or high yield savings account. Remember that this is just an example portfolio. It is not financial advice. The best answer is always to consult with a financial advisor if you have questions.